Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. So in today's video I want to talk to you guys about the glucose tolerance test, which is a test that may or may not be offered to you during your pregnancy. If you're going to have a glucose tolerance test, usually this takes place at around about 24-25 weeks of pregnancy, but please bear in mind that this is just my personal experience with this test. So if your midwife is telling you something else compared to what I'm telling you, then it's probably best that you follow your midwife's advice. Bottom line is, obviously, please make sure that you're following any medical professional's instructions. It's really, really important. So you're going to be offered a glucose tolerance test to basically measure if you are at risk of developing diabetes within your pregnancy, or if you've already developed pregnancy diabetes. So hopefully your midwife will have discussed with you the reasons why you've been offered this test. For me personally, it was because my BMI was on the borderline of being just right and being too high. So because I was just on that borderline, they offered me this test as a precaution. Before the test, you'll probably be given a few little instructions. They're pretty simple enough. It's nothing like crazy. I was given this little letter when I had my appointment booked. This is just what I was expected to do. Yours may or may not be different, but for me, before the test, I had to ensure that I was on a full fixed diet, and that is your usual daily meals and snacks, including bread and potatoes, for at least 3 and preferably 7 days before the test is performed. Another thing was to make sure that you continue doing your daily exercise. And the last thing is that apart from water, it was important that I did not have any food or drink for 12 hours prior to the start time of my test and until the test is fully completed. And it says here, this includes chewing gum, even if it's stated as sugar-free, and heartburn remedies also. I had my test done at the hospital and it was at 8:30 in the morning. So I had not had anything apart from water to eat or drink from about 8 o'clock the previous night. So what does this test actually include? Basically, this test is a pretty simple test. It just takes about 2.5 hours-ish to complete. Basically, upon your arrival for your appointment, your midwife will probably take some personal details from you, double check like contact numbers, name, things like that. But then your midwife will take your blood. And after that, you will get a glucose drink to take. So basically, this glucose drink, it doesn't taste awful, but it doesn't taste great. I mean, I wasn't too bothered about the taste. I just drank it like as quickly as I possibly could, just to kind of get it over with. But yeah, I mean, it's not the nicest tasting thing, but it's not the most disgusting tasting thing, if you know what I'm saying. It just is what it is, and it's quite thick. From, well, my experience of having it anyways, it was quite thick, and literally it just tastes of, well, glucose, sugar, you know. It just tastes of full on sugar. After you've drank this glucose drink, you need to basically wait 2 hours. And in those 2 hours, you can either stay on the premises where you got your test done. In my experience anyways, I was allowed to do that. Or they would have let me go home if I was not going to be alone. What I personally did was I chose to just come back home. And then after 2 hours, I went back up to the hospital. And basically after those 2 hours and you go back, you get your bloods taken again. So they're taking your bloods on 2 separate occasions, one before the glucose drink and one after the glucose drink. I had a bit of a carry on getting my bloods taken again. I don't know what it is, but since I have been pregnant, it's been a lot harder for anyone to get any blood out of me, especially having it done twice in one day. But eventually they did manage to get it out of my hand. My midwife told me that basically in this particular hospital that I was at, they process their glucose tolerance tests during their night shift. So I was to be contacted the following day So I had my test done on a Tuesday, so they would have contacted me the next day on the Wednesday if there was something wrong or a follow-up needed to happen basically. And I didn't hear anything, and it's been a week now. She did say, the midwife, that if there is no problems, we won't contact you at all. So if you don't hear anything, there's nothing wrong. We don't need to follow anything up with this. Test itself is completely fine. It's nothing to worry about. It's just more like it just takes some time to do. It's not like a quick test. You've got to get your bloods done, drink the drink, wait 2 hours, and then go back and get your bloods taken again. But obviously, if you are offered this test, I was like, well, it's best to be safe than sorry. And you know what I mean? Like with pregnancy, I'd rather be safe than sorry. At the end of the day, pregnancy diabetes can be quite serious if it's left untreated or not managed properly. So it's really important that you make sure that if it is offered to you, that you go ahead and take this test. Let me know if you've had an experience with pregnancy diabetes. I'm really intrigued to know the next steps. How did you manage your pregnancy diabetes? Did you get this glucose test done? How did you find it? How was your experience? Let me know in the comments section down below. So all I can really say now is thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, leave it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and click on that subscribe button. Thank you once again, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye guys.